Welcome to my basement. So a few weeks ago, I got to do something that I never thought I would actually be able to do. I investigated the Mansfield Reformatory with Nick Groff. So I had the opportunity to go to the Nick Groff Tour at the Ohio State Reformatory, and let me tell you, it was incredible. This video is mainly just going to be about the personal experiences that I had and the evidence that we captured. We had a great time at the Q&A. Everybody got to go through the meet and greet line, take pictures, autographs, all that fun stuff. But the real important stuff is what happened on the investigation. So what happens on the Nick Groff Tour at the Mansfield Reformatory is you split up into like maybe 5 groups, I think it was, of about like 15 or 20 people. And those groups rotate throughout the reformatory in different like active parts, and then like you move throughout the whole thing and you spend time in each space. Part of the problem is that there's so many people and it like is possibly contaminated, and it's really interesting the whole dynamic of doing an investigation with like hundreds of people. And we started in the East Cell Block with Nick. So we had Nick Groff, we had John Tenney, we had Mark and Debbie Constantino. There were a couple other people that were kind of like leading the different areas. So our group went to the East Cell Block first, where Nick was. Right off the bat, stuff like started happening. It was so weird. I have a clip that I'll show right after this that was taken on my mom's phone. So like, I personally don't have any like high-tech equipment, you know, I don't have night vision cameras or any fun stuff like that, but we do have a digital recorder, and my mom did record stuff on her cell phone, but the video is going to be dark, obviously, but you can hear what happens.
I mean, you can see your breath and stuff showing up, but you'll feel, at times you'll feel like just different climate change, like you'll feel it when it gets super cold in one spot, even though it's cold right now. And then you'll feel temperature changes, and usually that's typical with, you know, anything energy moving around is what I've noticed. Let me see what this is.
They were just laughing.
I was gonna say, you know what?
Laughing.
Yeah, I thought that was English. Right back here.
No, it was in here.
So again, this was in the East Cell Block with Nick. You can hear that he's kind of talking about like what he's experienced in the past when it comes to like these kinds of investigations, and right after he says is what I've noticed, you can hear a female laugh. Now,
What I've noticed. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is.
They were just laughing.
I was gonna say, you know what?
Laughing.
Yeah, I thought that was English. Right back here.
No, it was in here.
that laugh was audible. You can tell by the reactions of the people in there. We did hear it with our own ears, and it was captured on video. And what's interesting is that there was nobody, it's so weird, there was nobody that could have made that laugh, because we're in the East Cell Block, and it sounded like it came from way far behind us, but there wasn't anybody back there because all groups were accounted for in different areas of the reformatory. And so like this laugh sounded like it was coming from one of the cells way far down, or one of the hallways that was really far away, and there was nobody there. It didn't belong to anybody. It was like disembodied, and it's so weird to say that because I have never done an actual investigation before. You know, I watched Ghost Adventures for years. I'm always making videos about the episodes, always interacting with Nick Groff, but I myself have never been on a true investigation, and this was the first time, and I told Nick that too. He asked me if I was excited, and it was really, I was excited. And so right away, hearing a disembodied laugh was just freaking weird. So we spent a little bit of time with Nick in the East Cell Block. Throughout the night, there was different EVPs captured on different people's equipment and things like that, but this video is just gonna mainly talk about what I experienced, because there was quite a bit of evidence captured by other people, but this, it's all about me. So one of the other things that happened that kind of blew my mind happened in the West Cell Block, where the attendees kind of had like freedom to do their own little investigations. Like there were some stations that had a leader, and then there were some stations where they said, okay, go do your thing. So this was one of the go do your thing moments. There was a gentleman that was conducting an EVP session with a couple other people, and I decided that I just wanted to stand up against the wall and, you know, soak in the moment, because people had been talking about like, don't get freaked out so easily, you know. Nick was talking about how he tries to be respectful and, you know, not mean or provoking, because like we're asking these spirits to like communicate with us, and then as soon as they do, we freak out and think they're evil. Like, that's not what we should do. So I stood up against a wall in the west cell block and closed my eyes and was just kind of sitting there, concentrating on my listening, concentrating on my feeling, and just being in the moment. As I was doing that, I felt somebody tap my shoulder. Actually, it wasn't even my shoulder. It was this arm. And it felt just the lightest tap. It didn't hurt, it didn't sting, it didn't do anything like that. It literally felt like somebody just went super duper light. And so I shot my eyes open and I looked to my right, and there was nobody there. There was my mom, but she was standing a little bit farther down. And so I paused for a second and I took a deep breath and I said, somebody definitely just touched me. And so that was kind of cool. Now, there's a couple things that like happened that night that could have been paranormal, or they may not have been. Like, perhaps what I felt on my arm was just a muscle twitch, but I have trouble believing that because muscle twitches usually happen in spasms, you know, instead of just like one light bonk. That was pretty interesting to feel like somebody tapped me who wasn't there. Two other things that happened that could have been paranormal, but maybe they weren't, were things that I saw. When we were in the west cell block also, I thought I saw a man's leg pull itself back into a cell. I didn't tell anybody at the time that I saw it because, you know, I didn't trust my eyes. Again, this was the first investigation that I've ever been a part of, so I didn't really know what to like trust and what to believe was actually paranormal and what was just my eyes playing tricks on me. So I may or may not have seen a prisoner pull his foot back into his cell. Another thing I saw was down in solitary when we were with John Tenney. I rounded a corner and I saw a white wisp kind of like twirl itself and zoom past my left eye. And again, it could have been a bug, it could have been a spider web, it could have just been my eyes playing tricks on me, adjusting to the light, but it was definitely weird. It wasn't circular, it wasn't like, it didn't look like a bug is what I'm trying to say, because it was like long and white and it twisted as it zoomed past my face. But also something really weird happened down in solitary that my mom was kind of uncomfortable with. I got mean, like my mood completely changed when I was down in solitary, and I don't know if it was because of the energy that was attaching itself to me. I don't know if I was just, you know, reaching the end of my rope, because we were in solitary towards the end. It was our last station. This was the last place we were going. Maybe I was just tired and grumpy, but I definitely got mean, and I actually told people to shut up, which, you know, we all think in our heads, you know, oh, I wish those people would shut up, but I literally verbally said shut up to some people, including my mom, which is not something that I usually do. Like, I got pretty mean, and it was really weird for me. And my mom asked, you know, are you just being a grump or is something on you? And I didn't answer, and I just walked away. And so who knows what happened down there. The next two things that I'm going to tell you are kind of the biggest things that happened that night. When we were down in solitary, John Tenney had told us that there was one cell that was kind of having a lot of activity, but he didn't want to tell us which cell it was because he kind of wanted to see like if people would gravitate towards it or if other things would happen. We all went down in solitary, and I found a cell that I wanted to just kind of like chill in and see what would happen. So I walked into this cell. I wasn't all the way in the cell. I was kind of right on the threshold of the cell and outside the cell, so like right where the gate would slide shut is where I was standing. So I was kind of like on that little track. And so all the lights are off, and we haven't even actually started the investigation yet, and John is just kind of instructing us on, you know, how he runs things, and, you know, make sure you're quiet, stand as still as you can, and kind of recapping what had happened through the night. And so as I'm standing there, the cell door kind of slowly shuts onto my shoulder. I didn't react at all. I just thought that the person standing beside me bumped it. I did not think it was paranormal at all at first. So, and then somebody says, did somebody just touch the cell door? And me, expecting that the person next to me had bumped it, was shocked when everybody said no. I said, wait, you didn't touch the cell door just now? And she said no. And so we turned on a flashlight, and we saw that like she wasn't even touching the cell door. And what was interesting about the cell doors is that they have these like shelves on the outside of them, I don't know if maybe that's where they would put the meals for the people down in solitary. I'm not sure. I have no idea. That could be a complete lie. Don't listen to anything I say. There are these shelves kind of on the outside of the cell doors. And so you would think that maybe someone would be able to take their elbow and stick it into the cell and maybe push it. But with that shelf there, you couldn't do that. We also then tested the door, and I kind of like pushed it off of me and then pulled it back towards me. And you need to use some strength to move that thing because they're old, they're rusty, and they're heavy. It took a lot of strength to even like push the door off of me or pull it back towards me. And then John Tenney said, well, that's the cell that we've been watching tonight. So that was kind of crazy to go from thinking that somebody beside me bumped something and not even thinking it was paranormal at all, and then having them say they didn't touch it, testing the strength that we needed to move it, and then John saying that that was the cell that they were having the most activity in, kind of blew my mind. I mean, a cell door closed on me in the Mansfield Reformatory. Like, what? And then also the most compelling piece of evidence that we have, besides the laugh that was captured on video, was captured by my dad when he was in the admittance area. There's kind of a abandoned bathroom type thing that has a tub and a toilet and a sink. And this was another part of the investigation where they kind of said that you can just go do whatever you want. So my dad went into this bathroom and he was the only one in there. And he was rolling on his digital recorder and he captured something that, like, I don't even know, man. Like, this EVP is so loud and so close to the recorder that I don't even know how to comprehend it. Because, you know, usually EVPs are like really faint and you have to listen really hard and try and figure out what they're saying. But this EVP is like, you can't miss it. And I'm gonna play the clip for you now. This clip was taken directly off the digital recorder as soon as my mom and dad heard it, because I was still at school at the time, and so they were reviewing the evidence here at home, and when they heard this, they both looked at each other and they kind of freaked out. So watch this for a second. So hopefully you were able to hear what I'm talking about and see how crazy that EVP is. Again, you know, you can only trust things that you capture yourself. So maybe any of you watching this maybe doubt what I just showed you. Maybe you think I'm faking it. I don't know. But anybody who knows me will know that this is not faked, and we literally don't know how to explain it. And it's very frustrating because we have yet to be able to figure out what it says. If you think you know what it's saying, please, by all means, put a comment down in the comment section below and give us your input. My dad was completely alone when this EVP was captured. He did not hear that voice with his ears. If he would have marked it or he would have responded to it, but he did not hear it with his own ears at the time. I actually did send this clip to Nick to get his opinion on it, and he said that I should share it with you guys and see what you have to say. Again, it was played directly from the digital recorder. Nothing has been done to manipulate it at all. That is just straight up. It wasn't enhanced. It wasn't anything. It was just straight off the recorder. That's what my dad captured. So I'll actually play it again for you here, so take another listen. So like I said, if you have any idea what you think that EVP might be saying, or if you have any advice that you would want to give me when it comes to reviewing evidence, again, this is my first investigation. My mind is kind of blown at everything that I experienced, and I finally understand the frustration of capturing an EVP and not being able to explain it. Like, maybe something was in that room with my dad and wanted to tell him something, or maybe it's just a complete misunderstanding. Maybe he doesn't remember there being someone in that room, but he swears that there was nobody in that room. He did not hear that voice, and it's so loud. So yeah, that's kind of my evidence recap. Like I said, there was a bunch of other EVPs that were captured by other people. There were other people that said they were touched, other people that said they heard stuff, other people that said they felt stuff. But those kind of 4 or 5 experiences are what I had happened to me personally, and I wanted to share them with you, and I wanted to get your input on that EVP that we captured. Thanks for watching, guys. I know this was kind of a longer video than I usually make, but it's been a while since the event actually happened, and I have just been so busy. I know that I say that every video I make, and I know that most of you probably don't even care, but I just graduated college with honors, and I moved out of my dorm and back into my house with my parents and my brother. And I'm supposed to be moving to California next year, so I'm kind of freaking out. Thanks for watching. I am extremely happy to be a part of a fandom and a, group of people that are so supportive and wanting to know what's going on with each other. So thank you to every single person that watches my videos, and thank you, Nick Groff, for being so amazing. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good day.